Very good morning to everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Startup Roadshow at CBIT, organized by HITEX in collaboration with Atal Community Innovation Center. So today's theme for the Startup Roadshow it's from innovation to implementation. How clean startups can scale with industry, policy, and capital reflects the direction in which India's startup ecosystem is moving. So we are excited to bring together all industry leaders, investors, innovators, and young entrepreneurs under one roof. And I would like to invite Mr. Srikanth TG, Business Head of HITEX, to formally welcome everyone for today's Startup Date Show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure in extending a warm welcome to all of you who are from the dynamic startup ecosystem. I would want to welcome Colonel B.S. Rao, Mr. Sahaj Sandhu, Ms. Shantala Vegas. Ms. Shantala Vegas is on her way and she should be able to join us very shortly. Mr. Vinod Raghavan, Dr. Srinivas Kasuva, Mr. Abhishek Gorle, Mr. Ratnakar Siveda, and Mr. Kiran KK. I sincerely thank each one of you for graciously consenting to be here today and for being willing to share your valuable insights and experiences. I'm happy to note that we are gathered here today to explore and deepen our understanding of the journey to success for the startups, particularly in the CleanTech sector. I'm pleased to inform that HITEX, along with very active support from ACIC CBIT and Dr. Sania Gawan, we've been able to gather the best of minds from CleanTech industry and the investor foreign industry ecosystem for the startups. I'm sure all of us will have a very enriching sessions today, and we would leave this session with a lot of strength and knowledge in scaling up the startup ecosystem, especially in the CleanTech sector. Friends, I also stand here as organizer for two trade fair expos. One is Eco Sustain Expo and the other one is India Process Expo and Conference. These two trade fairs are organized by HITEX, and basically India Process Expo and Conference focuses on process technologies, efficiency improvements in energies, especially in the manufacturing sector. We also deal with the kind of infrastructure improvement for the manufacturing sector in terms of material handling, in terms of logistics, in terms of process efficiencies. That is basically about India Process Expo and Conference. And Eco Sustain Expo focuses on material recycling, waste management, in terms of solid waste management, in terms of effluent treatment, in terms of pollution control, specifically in an industry environment. We have also introduced biogas as a special section for Eco Sustain Expo last year, and the concurrently held expos during the last edition. I am pleased to inform you that we've had participation of more than 200 exhibitors from across about 25 states across India, and we had a couple of international participations too on material recycling and waste management. We had more than 15,000 visitors, industry visitors, coming over to the floors, and we had a very, very vibrant innovation arena where young minds showcase their processes and equipment in handling material recycling and waste management. I'm happy to say that the next editions of Eco Sustain Expo and HITEC are scheduled to be held at HITEX Hyderabad on 30th of July. They will be held for 3 days. And catching up with the successes of the previous editions, this year we have added Startup Challenge as a part of Eco Sustain Expo and IPEC. And we've also added conferences through Glebe forums. See, South Asian countries, representatives, any representatives like consul generals and the trade consulates would be coming in onto the floor for an active interaction with industries and any of the exhibitors. I take this opportunity in inviting all of you to come over to both these trade fairs and take advantage of whatever innovations of processes and technologies that are showcased there. Interact with your peers, gain knowledge. With that, I would request this edition of the Startup Roadshow to commence without taking much more time. Thank you, gentlemen.
So now I would like to invite key pillar of our innovation ecosystem, the CEO of Atal Community Innovation Center at CBIT, a passionate supporter of startups and sustainable innovation. So please welcome the Dr. Samir Dawad.
A very good morning to all of you present over here. Respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, industry leaders, investors, startup founders, innovators, faculty members, students, and dear participants. On behalf of ACIC CBIT, which is supported by Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, Government of India, it is my profound privilege to welcome you all to this HITEX Startup Roadshow on sustainability and clean technologies, which is in support of the 3rd Eco Sustain Expo and Conference 2026. We are truly honored to host this important gathering here at the CBIT campus, a place that continuously nurtures innovation, entrepreneurship, and responsible leadership. Today's theme, from innovation to implementation, how CleanTech startups can scale with industry, policy, and capital. It is not just for a discussion, it reflects the urgent need of our times. Across the world, we are facing challenges related to climate change, waste management, energy transition, water scarcity, and environmental sustainability. In this context, CleanTech startups and grassroots innovators are not merely entrepreneurs, but they are solution providers for humanity's future. At ACIC CBIT, we used to conduct various capacity building programs, outreaches, fundraising events to support grassroots and rural innovators. So our mission has always been to bridge the gap between ideas and impact, between innovation and implementation, and between local solutions and global relevance. Through structured incubation, mentoring, funding support, prototyping support, industry connect, and policy facilitation, we strive to empower startups to scale sustainability and responsibly. This roadshow is a significant step in that direction by bringing together startups, incubation enablers, investors, industry experts, policymakers on one common platform. So basically we aim to strengthen the CleanTech and WasteTech ecosystem, enable meaningful industry collaborations, facilitate access to capital and markets, and promote Telangana and Hyderabad as leading hubs for sustainability-led innovation. Our partnership with HITEX for this roadshow and the upcoming Eco Sustain Expo 2026 at HITEX reflects a shared commitment to create real opportunities for startups beyond exhibitions, beyond networking, and towards long-term partnership and deployment. I would like to place on record our sincere appreciation to the HITEX leadership, Mr. Srikant Daru, and team led by Mr. Praveen for their continuous support and collaboration in building this impactful initiative. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speakers, panelists, investors, and mentors who have taken time from their busy schedule to guide and inspire our startup community today. Your experience and insight will play a pivotal role in shaping the journeys of many emerging innovators. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish this Startup Roadshow a grand success. Thank you, and I wish you all a highly engaging and productive day ahead. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. So, now I'm going to start with our technical presentation, and I'd like to invite Colonel B.S. Radha, CEO of SR Innovation Exchange.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you. Yeah, now it's okay? Yeah. So, while the presentation comes up, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Dr. Sami, and Mr. Srikant and Mr. Praveen for putting this all together. More so that it's very good for people as in the ecosystem to keep running into each other, sometimes a second, third time, sometimes for the first time. It helps us all collectively grow. So from scaling CleanTech, to keep it short, has also always been an issue. Dr. Sunny has given the importance of CleanTech in our current context, and India today stands at the crossroads. It is one of the few spaces where we have done really well, and a lot more needs to be done. And today we have a wonderful combination of very established players, like Mr. Raghavan here from Ramki, as well as some startups who are sitting over there who are just fledgling in this field. So what do we require to do now? There are a lot of established players. There are also a number of startups who are out there who have got nice innovations, who have got wonderful innovations. Now, innovation is not the problem. Our problem comes with implementation. And there are certain bottlenecks which do not let the innovations bloom. There is a lot of ecosystem around, but however, the dots between the ecosystems need to get connected. Events like this, the pre-event and the main show coming up in July under the aegis of HITEX will be a major step in connecting those dots. And something really big will happen once those dots connect. So it's really a wonderful initiative. Way back in 2021, I think it was in Scotland, the Honorable Prime Minister of India had given a commitment of being net zero by 2020. We are well onto that space, maybe not totally, but we have done a lot since then. I mean, we are seeing around us a huge explosion when it comes to things like electric vehicles, renewable energy, solar electricity and wind electricity and all. So in certain spaces, we have done seriously well. On the environment front, a lot more needs to be done, which is very apparent. We see how North India suffers every year, and it's not far when it comes down further south, and we also get impacted by that. So, but nonetheless, where we have done well today, we have almost 180 gigawatts of electricity in the country, which is coming from renewable sources. In that, around 70 is from solar and around 40 is from wind. We have got other mandates by the government, like SEBI. SEBI requires a sustainability responsibility report to be given by the top 1,000 industries which are listed in the stock market. So these are new measures that have come in. These become mandatory. As these become mandatory, the corporate world has to pay more attention to it. They do pay attention to it from a social perspective, from a conscience perspective, and all that. It's not as if they're oblivious to it. But when it becomes a compliance issue, the push into it will be that much deeper and that much faster and that much more committed. So such initiatives have been launched by the government to give a boost to implementation of clean technology, to an effort towards sustainability, to a desire to use renewables at every step. So we are keep the previous one. No. So yeah, we are seeing a lot renewable expansion at scale. So there is a lot of momentum. Yeah, please take it next. So as an incubator, as heading an incubator, I do see a lot of interest these days. Young startups are coming up with innovations for clean technology, for electric vehicles, for carbon capture, for carbon credits. A lot of initiative is coming up from there. And we have been supporting them around at least 8 to 10 startups. We have supported in this field one young boy sitting here, Saki Technologies, whose machine is put up here in Nursing municipality itself, though fledgling. Now, so that comes to the question, where does he go next? That is something that will be discussed in the coming part of the day. So there is a lot happening, and we have people in EVs, we have people in battery management system, we have people in battery recycling, which is a very untouched field. So their prototypes are ready, they are in the market, they are doing some small bit of work, but where do they go next is a big question. How does this scale and become really operational and impactful? So what happens is, hold it there. I mean, long pilot times, I mean, these are long gestation startups. They are very asset heavy in their deployment. There are a lot of regulatory compliances. Regulatory compliances, I'm sure, will ease out as days go by. We have a very proactive government which wants to do that. Procurement barriers are certainly there. A lot of minor things which are required have to be imported. They get stuck at the customs and it becomes an issue getting them inside. So startups do face these kind of problems, and that is where I think somebody like Sahaj and T-Works can step in to do that import substitution, with the fantastic infrastructure they have created in T-Works. So these barriers are there. So from innovation to implementation is quite a step, and it cannot be done by the startup alone. The entire ecosystem has to get involved in it. Entire ecosystem has to get involved in it. Yeah, next. There is a lot of infrastructure dependency. Compliance has to be there. There's capex intensity, multi-stakeholder. Multi-stakeholder is what is critical. So this interaction between young innovations, the opportunity that young innovations rather get to a POC scale, to a very working prototype scale, requires the whole ecosystem to support it. The ecosystem being the industry, the investors, as well as the markets. Now, without the support, policy rather, I mean more than markets, without the support of the entire ecosystem, these startups will find it difficult to scale. After all, this is not a B2C kind of a thing. This is not a consumer product. Okay. Yeah. So we require a lot of system integration. Yeah, let's go next. So we have innovation, we have industry, we have capital, and we have policy. The policy factor, like I said, will get taken care of. Governments are proactive. There are a lot of think tanks and there are a lot of feedback which is given, which will come in. Now, capital is sometime later in the day. Mr. Ratnakar is here from Hyderabad, the Angels. He can tell us what is the kind of bottlenecks for capital in this very, very new kind of a field. Industry has got a major role to play. because they have the infrastructure, they have the capacity in a different way to promote. For example, as we were talking, sir, decarbonization, and Ramki is helping a lot of industries to do that. When industries decide to decarbon, that is when all the innovations that are out there will come into play, because somebody wants them. That is a market. That is where they play. So the thrust of a policy by institutions like SEBI, by the government, by the Ministry of Environment and all, industry wanting to do it for all the good reasons as well as for compliance, will give these young innovations a boost. However, there will always be this issue about where is the money going to come from to support them. Industry can support up to a certain level. The money is going to be an issue. Yeah, next. So the pilots and the testing and all can be done, the procurement. A good working prototype with support of the industry and institutions like T-Works can give the kind of credibility that will interest investors. And very obviously, we require a lot of patient capital as far as these investors are concerned, these investments are concerned. There are other agencies which also need to play their bit. There is a government, there is SIDBI, there are other funds deployed for this purpose, who also would need to get a little more proactive in it. Industry on its own, especially the petroleum, the automotive, all the so-called polluting industries, can take their own initiatives about putting out hacks out there. They don't need to do all the innovation themselves. Put hacks out there, encourage competitions, hackathons in CleanTech and energy-saving devices. It will certainly lead to a lot of new products coming into the market. So when industry shows interest, that is where the market validation comes in and investors will be interested. Yeah. So from a policy perspective, all this, we keep talking of the SDG goals. And it's a wrong thing to say we keep talking. These days we are gone beyond talking, and people are very, very committed towards SDG goals, not all 15, 17 of them. But every industry has picked up 2 or 3 of their prime areas where they would like to contribute. That, because they are committed towards it, will lead to a lot of growth in newer and newer innovations coming up. Infrastructure planning, yes. Now this requires a multimodal agency to decide to create infrastructure which is friendly towards sustainability and clean technology. I had occasion of meeting a few people. There were private companies in Gurgaon who were working closely with the Ministry of Transport in deciding how should electric charging infrastructure come up on highways, and and they were taking everything into consideration, cycle times, turnaround time, vehicle capacities, road capacity, and what kind of space is required along highways to create these kind of junctions where trucks can stop and all. So there is work going on that front, where the policy directive will come in and infrastructure will also come in a way which is supportive towards clean technology. On all fronts, not just mobility, on all fronts. There's a lot of push being given to e-vehicles, of course. I myself have in my incubator 2 startups who are working on e-vertical takeoff machines. I mean, not just vertical takeoff, but into e-vertical takeoff machines. The market is showing a lot of interest. They are being approached by a lot of people for it. So that's a very encouraging sign. Tablet procurement, always a big aspect. Let us see where that goes. I wouldn't want to comment on that, but yes, across all the ministries and departments, there is a huge push towards it. Yeah, we'll take it next. So essentially, the thing comes to where is the money. So investors would want to see revenue visibility. and other aspects. Most, of course, the regulatory stability is very, very critical. We do not want, if we want big people coming into this field, we do not want incidents like what happened to, say, Vodafone. You can't have retrospective taxes coming in. You have to be sure that nothing is going to happen over the next 10, 12 years by way of policy that suddenly makes all that we have done very defunct and very expensive. So those kind of fears do exist, and that needs to be given thought to at a policy level. I am sure there are people out there who know that this is a threat and will do the needful thing as far as keeping a very sustainable policy comes in, which are not affected by governments and personalities. It's a policy and a policy. That is what will be required. Otherwise, CleanTech will never really take off. Investors will still come in, but policy is very much required. When there is confidence in the process, when there is confidence in the system that this is how it is going to be, the investment will flow in. So that is about it. Yeah, then the whole ecosystem has to look at it. We are all VRL from a simple thing like throwing our cup into the waste paper basket till utilization of electricity. First, the desire to be sustainable has to rise from a very individual level, which these days we are all aware is quite pronounced in everybody to be sustainable, and people are happy to make conscious choices in favor of sustainability. So that one thing certainly has happened. One other very encouraging thing is that lots of innovations are coming up in the field, and now this base of innovations, the funnel, the pipeline, how it gets channelized with policy, with investment, with infrastructure is what requires to be really sorted out. Efforts are in place, but a lot more needs to be done on that front. Yeah, I think this is more or less the same. Yeah. So yeah, what I've been talking of all this while, everybody is aligned in the same direction. All the four pillars need to come together. So that is about what I wanted to discuss more from a perspective of starting off today's proceedings. So I'll leave it there. There are more speakers coming, and we have a wonderful panel for the panel discussion, and I'm sure more on each one of these topics will keep coming up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful presentation. Our next speaker is a key enabler in India's innovation and advanced manufacturing ecosystem, working closely with startups to turn ideas into market-ready product. So please welcome Mr. Sahaj R. Sandhu, Associate Vice President at TWorks.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to first thank Colonel B.S. Rao for giving such an insightful presentation. It's really tough to come to that standard, but I'll try. And I would like to welcome all the speakers, dignitaries, panel discussion, on our panelists to this wonderful event. And I think it is necessary to discuss this because when I ran my incubator, I had found my incubator in 2016 and ran until 2022. And it was based on SDG goals. And everybody was in that time was like a social impact, it cannot be profitable. But now it has gone beyond that point. Now it is not an option to look into sustainability, it has become a necessity. And as presenting from TWorks side, I would like to say presented what industries are looking into. Startups, definitely a lot of incubators are helping innovative startups to come up to a point that they can be brought to the market and they can pilot. What we are trying to do is like understand what industry requires and how can we push the startups to adopt early. So it is it's very simple presentation. It is some data and just if it there are certain graphs on it. I'll try to explore it, but I hope that everything will come to a conclusion by the end, right? So we'll discuss manufacturing economy, India's manufacturing sector, the state right now. Then green economy's impact on alternative industry, which I'm closely working with, and what is a probable way forward for us. So, as you see in the last decade, India has dropped in a lot in the manufacturing. Countries like Nigeria, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, they have gone up. China has come down a bit. US, UK are trying to maintain where they are. Just keep this in your mind because we're going to need this later. Now, this is the situation that right now we have based on the data available in the World Economic Forum. This is the industry pollution that we are causing. We are increasing a lot. If you see, we are on the second stage. The countries which are progressing a lot with lower emissions like UK, Germany, US, Japan, Italy have come down from the initial 100% if you're taking that as a baseline. And then India, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, and Philippines are something we are polluting. We are not even increasing a lot on the GDP factor, but we are polluting a lot of pollutions. That is going to come in the next slide of how we're doing it. And but China, South Korea, Singapore, and Poland, they are subsidizing a lot of green initiatives so that they can maintain the their industry in manufacturing and still can cut down on the necessities which are reducing the carbon footprint across the world. This is a major problem, even a bigger problem. Even if we are increasing our pollution, as I mentioned here, I'm not saying the manufacturing because that has gone down. We are not going up very high on our wages. The people that are working in this manufacturing industry, the people who are trying to enter this manufacturing industry, they are not offering even a very good incentives for people to join that in. It is changing, and we are making it possible for the help of startups and innovations to scale it to a level that it can be brought down so that people can come in and pitch in their own innovations and take it global, not only in India. So as you see, on the left side, we have all the developed countries which are automating a lot, and their wages are also good. They have a good social security, so they can maintain that. That if you see the 70% wage index, this is a much distributed one, and we have our own way of growing. Every country in Nigeria, Indonesia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, they have their own political system, policies which are coming up and people are adopting to it, that it is a very big risk for India. Because see, in the manufacturing share, our status is failing across in the last 10 years. It has still not picked up. Make in India did not make that impact which was expected out of it. Pollution, we are rising. Jobs, we have high potential, but the risk is it's low wages. For pollution, carbon lock-ins, we are investing a lot on coal at this point of time. Like energy that can be generated from the fossil fuels, which is not good. That in the national level, it is happening. We are seeing it every day. A lot of forests are being cut down. That is a very big problem, and it is very hard to offset it because if you had invested about $5-10 billion in a span of 2 years in a lot of coal industries, you are not going to close that and switch to renewable energies very quickly. And manufacturing share deindustrialization, if people are not going to join the industry, who are going to run the industries? Then the opportunities that we as TWorks is we have to reindustrialize it. We don't have to go for big factories anymore. Nano factories are something that are coming up in a lot of places. Like TWorks has introduced a concept on nano factories where we build setups and give it out to startups and lease them for some time so they can use it. And the cost of running the factory can be distributed over many innovations, not like just one innovation. So that's how we can introduce that particular concept. Then pollution, leapfrog to beauty industry, that is going to be the topic for the next 2-3 slides. And jobs is skill upgrading. So moving forward, so green economy is something, the carbon circle economy, which has been very well accepted and pushed in the Western countries. Why is it's just not a point of 5-7 years back, it was just a point of discussion over good seminars and workshops, but now it has come out of that. It has to got on the ground. Now people are now trying to reduce their circular economy debt and carbon economy debt. That is how efficiently are they using their cycles, how their materials. And carbon economy debt is how efficiently they can switch to different energy sources, and not only from the industry level, but on the logistics level and on the suppliers level also. So these are some of the and policies that are coming up in the next that have started implementation. The implementation is started, but about 13, 14 policies that we have right now that industries are looking at, mostly the automotive industries are looking at. We can see that most of the industries are looking to go for at electrics. That is number one. Second, they are going towards battery management, so better batteries. Number three, a lot of circular material is coming in, and the priority is based on the level of technology that is available today and the amount that is required to push that particular technology into the market. So this is the current state of the policies in India, and as you see that in front of every policy, I've mentioned scopes of the particular policy. The scopes are basically what industries emit a scope 1. Scope 2 is basically if you're buying sun energy or something from our partners. And scope 3, everything except the functioning at the factory. Even if you're getting something from our suppliers or if you're getting something anywhere from the country, from cradle to grave, that kind of situation. All these three are something that comes into that these policies are, these policies are divided into. So based on this, what we are suggesting to our industries today is that, since we see that most of the emissions are coming from scope 3, this is where we're pushing our startups today. All the startups that we are looking at Tubeworks today are something which are working in scope 3, because scope 1 and scope 2 is basically mostly industry dependent. Scope 3, you as innovators can come up with solutions for particular sectors, and B can help you make that into a pilot and test it with the industries. Moving forward, so this is something that is like my concluding slide. Why is this important? Because in the last one, if you see upcoming CCTS relevance, that is carbon crediting trading system for India. India has just given up an advisory of what you can do it's an advisory at the moment, but it will be implemented in 2027, where at least in the automotive sector, 30% of the material that will be coming in has to be from recycled material. It could be your metal, it could be your leather, it could be your tires, it could be your glass, anything, but that has 30% has to be constituted out of that. In the second section, you see, so in the third column, these are already which are applied standards worldwide, and are done from a lot of study has been done at our end at the back end. I'm not showing the study here. It's like 13, 14 research papers that our team has went through. That what is the best possible, I could say, the regulations that pick from the already existing standards that can shift it to CCTS, because in doing so there is a lot of money is involved, and if we pick up the wrong standard that will not be accommodated in the policy in the country, your standards, your credits, everything is wasted. So and further it is further divided into scopes and actions. I can share this slide anybody who's present here, so Dr. Sunny can share it with them. So this is here I'm concluding this slide with the fact that any startups who are looking forward to enter CleanTech or in the recyclable area or the SDG goals, please look at the CCTS regulations that are present. What are the standards worldwide? And if you want to work on any of these sectors, you can get in touch with us or any of the innovation cells, and we'll help you mitigate these laws and even the building manufacturing technologies very quickly and swiftly, and let's get there in a fashion that you don't waste a lot of money and time. Okay. Thank you. And any questions right now? I'm pretty new to being on this side of the stage, so yeah, it's a bit of breath. But any questions do you have?
Maybe during networking, they will interact.
Cool. Then thank you once again, everyone, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm around, and any feedback would also be great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the informative session. And our next representative is someone who is representing one of the world's largest entrepreneurial networks and actually supporting founders and innovators. So please join me welcoming Ms. Shantala Vegas, Senior Director at TAI Hyderabad.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Dr. Sunny and Praveen, for inviting me and make this happen today. Really honored to be among the August Group, the speakers, and very good friends of the ecosystem here. So today, I'll give you a brief about what TiE Hyderabad is, since I guess most of the crowd is new to this, even the term, I guess, before delving into the new program that we are launching. So TiE as a global organization was founded in 1992 at Silicon Valley by entrepreneurs who were already successful in their entrepreneurial journey, going through all the roughs and ups and downs, and but they had made a mark. And this was the Indian diaspora in Silicon Valley who founded TiE. That is the Indus entrepreneurs. But now it is not limited to Indian diaspora. We have people from all nationalities and all races, color, creed, and gender in the mix. Through all those years, TiE has tried to foster entrepreneurship, and here you have entrepreneurs who have been there, done it, and reached a significant milestone and status in their entrepreneurial journey, where they can and are willing to contribute to the next generation of entrepreneurs, be it through, we have 5 pillars, be it through mentoring, networking, incubation, education, or access to funding. So these are our main 5 pillars. And TiE Hyderabad was one of the earliest founded chapters across the world. So we are ranked grade A chapter, given our programs, our impact and everything over the years. So we are in the 27th year of our founding. We were founded in 1999, and here we are, and we are very proud to be in a city and state that, that's very conducive and supportive to the entrepreneurs as an ecosystem, as a government, as an ecosystem as well, which is very rare to find, and very blessed to be in that kind of company in our state here. So that's the brief about what TiE is and what TiE Hyderabad is. So today we are going to, is that in the presentation mode? Excuse me? Is that in the present? Okay. So today we are we are here talking about TiE Social Impact, which is our newest program that is going to be launched today, this evening, actually. As the tagline says, we are, planning to and, visioning to empower change makers for scalable social transformation through TiE Social Impact program. Yeah, the main aim of this program is to create a visible legacy of collective good, connecting wealth creators to change makers. You might see that, it's written that it's the first of its kind initiative in the TiE world. So we are the first chapter globally in TiE Global 67 chapters across 16 countries to start a specific program to accelerate, scale, and support social enterprises, social organizations, and social startups, social impact startups. So the TiE Global Social Impact Program stresses on inclusive social impact, ecosystem-driven engagement integrated with the TiE global program, other global programs of TiE, community participation, and focus areas of impact that on my earlier speakers were talking about. We are also basing this entire program on the SDGs and to support every organization that is working towards fulfilling the goals of the SDGs. So at TiE Hyderabad, we have chosen a very specific and very clear approach. Our three main goals here are to enable sustainable scale and to amplify proven impact. So we are not just sticking to innovators and startups, but we are also extending this to NGOs who are working in the social impact sector. So, the DPS we'll go through on the coming slides. So as I said, we have clear eligibility criteria and a very small cohort that we'll begin with this year. And we have divided it into 3 categories. Category A is social entrepreneurs and for-profit social startups. As Sahaj was just saying that, gone are the days when, social is attached only to non-profit. Today, even it is proven that proven by many in the field that a social enterprise can also be profitable and continue to amplify their impact by being profitable. So these are the criteria that we are looking at. Again, our main focus has always been, as we launched TIE 50 last year also, that, the enterprises need to be, back then we had been very specific about enterprises being registered in Telangana. But for this, we are looking at legally registered anywhere in India, but with strong presence and operational focus in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So one of these 2 states, if the organization, if the enterprise or startup has a strong operational focus, they are eligible for this. And the focus areas obviously have to be strongly social and environmental oriented and aligned to the SDGs. So on the product readiness level that we are looking at for this first cohort is at least TRL 7, because for the first cohort we want to make this a model for the coming cohorts. For the coming months we might do 2 different cohorts, one for very early stage, very idea level startups, and then till later. But this time we are focusing on TRL 7+. And yes, we are looking at pre-seed or seed stage ready startups. You may not have funding already, but you either need to have funding or revenue. One of those categories we are looking at. For NGOs and Section 8 companies, we have very clear AMIR funding and turnover criteria also. It has to be between 25 lakhs to 2 crores. And again, registered anywhere in India, but strong operational focus in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So this can be an NGO, Section 8 company, a trust, or a society. Focus areas, these are the ones that we have chosen. Again, trying to keep it very focused and narrow for this time. Livelihood, climate resilience, health, education, circular economy, and gender equality. Scalability potential is also something that we will look at, because we are looking at not merely doing an incubation and washing off our hands, but we need to see a clear scalability during and post the program and clear impact. So we are looking at demonstrated product market fit, in the sense whatever services the NGO is providing, or whatever product they are designed and implementing through their wills, etc., need to have been tested, and also there needs to be a clear impact matrix that we can refer to and qualify them for this cohort. So the selection process is yesterday is the program launch, and the applications are open till the 1st of March, and by the 10th of March we'll shortlist top 10, and April 1st we will have the first pitch and evaluation before the program starts, and the top 5 will start their incubation, acceleration in fact, on April 10th. That's the timeline. And if you look at the program structure, we are looking at clear points where TIE has strength in, and TIE can contribute in the growth of these enterprises. That is tech and innovation, mentorship and strategy clinics, impact measurement workshops. Because again, when we did some groundwork, we saw that there are many organizations, many NGOs who are doing work, but then the impact measurement is missing. So this is something that we will be including in the program. Financial planning and fundraising support, and visibility and networking. And once somebody is part of this program, it's not confined to TIE social impact program, but they will have access to the entire TIE network and the programs that TIE offers. And the expected outcomes of this is, at least 50 to 75 lakhs of combined new funding for or CSR commitments that we are looking at globalizing. And obviously, we will have 5 high potential social innovators ready for scale up or investment. We'll have 5 post-program partnerships and MOUs for the startups and the enterprises that are part of this. We are not talking about MOUs with TIE here. For them, there will be impactful, impact-oriented MOUs that we will help sign, and creation of TIE Hyderabad Social Impact Alumni Network for ongoing mentorship and collaboration, because we understand that, as I said, if it is a 6-month incubation program, it doesn't mean that a startup can learn everything they need to know in 6 months and then we wash off our hands, but they become part of the network where there's peer learning and also ongoing support throughout the life cycle. And also a mentor pipeline will be built for Hyderabad, because again, mentors here, we are looking at TIE Hyderabad mentors from global TIE network, mentors from the network of entrepreneurial ecosystem of Telangana and beyond, globally as well. So this will form a pipeline of, impact mentors, which anybody in the ecosystem can then approach, and yes, so it will not be confined to by Hyderabad alone. So yeah, there's the QR code to apply for the program, and please do keep an eye out on our social media. We are TIE Hyderabad on all those social media channels, so you can get regular updates on that. And definitely this I request Praveen and Dr. Sunny if this presentation could be made available to all the delegates who are attending. So you can look at the FAQs also. The link is in the presentation itself. And for anything else, you can write to socialimpact@tiehyderabad.org. Now before we are closing, since this is a very important milestone for us, I would request Dr. Sami, Praveen, and even our already ecosystem partners, TWorks, and the dignitaries gathered here, GNets, we have everyone, as they could join us in the unveiling of the poster for this very special program. Please join me there.
So that brings us to a very exciting segment for innovators and entrepreneurs here today to introduce the Startup Pitch Battle for Eco Sustain Expo 2026, which is scheduled in the month of July 30 July to 1st of August. So I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Balaji Dande from ConfCall for this presentation on Startup Pitch Battle.
Good morning, everyone. Respected guests and also students. I am Prem Balaji, founder and director this roadshow as an organizing partner, and also to connect with a lot of entrepreneurs who are building and shaping the sustainable future. I just want to explain why I am here. We are a conference partner for our upcoming Eco Sustain and HITEX conference.
happening on July 30th and July 31st. As a part of this conference program, we are introducing a new initiative called Startup Pitch Battle with the theme Accelerating the Sustainable Industry Innovation. I would like to explain why this Startup Pitch Battle is need of hour for the startups. In the last year conference, I had a chance to meet and network with startup founders and also, emerging innovating ideas, people who are with emerging innovative ideas. One thing I noticed in their conversation, even after having the innovative idea, their access to the right platform and also to the decision makers and capital is very difficult. Keeping that in my mind, this year agenda has been created and curated for them. It is, this year agenda is more than a conference. We wanted to provide a perfect launchpad through the startup pitch battle and provide a platform for the early stage startups in this CleanTech sector. Actually, this platform will definitely give the visibility, the validation for their ideas, and give the right opportunities to lead and network with the investors and also to the C-level executives. The Startup Pitch Battle is designed as the high impact platform to identify and also to elevate the early stage startups working in waste management, wastewater treatment, clean energy sector, and process industries. Our goal is to position. Our goal is to for the startup battle is to position every innovation at the forefront of the industries and industrial sustainability and connect with you directly investors, industry leaders, and ecosystem partners. For the startup pitch battle, we are collaborating with the Startup Foundation from Pune to give us the guidance and also to curate all the applications that are received for the startup pitch battle. It is open call for all the startups. So whoever working in the CleanTech sector can apply for this startup pitch battle. We are expecting at least 100 startups will apply to this startup pitch battle. The format for this startup is they need to submit the application which is available on the website, and they need to send it to our email. So in the 100 applications, you will be selecting 7 best startups. Applies the 100 application, we will be selecting 7 the best startups, and we will be giving a chance to them to present their innovation in the startup pitch battle. If you can see the certain format, if you can see present format, every finalist have to present 5-minute video pitch per startup. So this will be giving access to the more than 350 plus audience suppose in the Eco HITEX conference. So the attendance includes investors, startup founders, and also industry executives, R&D leaders, financial institution, and also startup ecosystem enablers. So this evaluation will be assessed by multidisciplinary expert in the jury panel. So the selection committee for this startup pitch battle will be comprised of founders, primary buyers, R&D leaders, and startup consultants, and also institutional investors. The evaluation parameters will be strength of team, acquisition capability, value creation that they are bringing into the market, and market relevance. It should be related to the CleanTech sector, basically. And also, the judges will also see the scalability and long-term growth potential of the particular startup while evaluating the applications that we receive. And also, we'll see how sustainable that innovation idea is, and we will only give the entry to such startups. By participating in this startup pitch battle, the startups will be featured in across all conference platforms. There will be press coverage, and also the targeted media visibility will be there. We make sure that whichever of the startups selected for this startup pitch battle, we make sure that as organizers will get enough exposure to them, and also give the limelight that they need to scale their also to give the visibility. We'll also curate the networking with the investors and ecosystem leaders. We'll also provide the enhanced brand credibility through the various publications, and also we give the industry recognition that they require. We're also collaborating with the association and industries to give them the provide them the recognition that they need for their startups. And we also invite venture capitalists, angel investors, and corporate partners for startup to scale to provide a meaningful network for the startups and also the founders. Along with that, not only we're giving the right networking opportunities, so we're also reaching out to the sponsors for providing the cash prize for the startup issue battle. I mean, we'll be selecting one winner across 7 startups as well, and we'll be giving cash prizes and also the awards that we require. So the eligibility criteria for any startup to apply for this pitching competition is they should be in pre-seed or seed stage startups. I mean, they should be in the pre-seed stage, and it should be incorporated within last 5 years. We won't be giving to entry to the last 10 years startup, which is founded and funded corporation date. And also there is no venture capital or no fund is raised for that particular startup, and it should be India based. To apply for this pitching competition, you can visit Eco Sustain website. In the conference page, you will find the apply now button, and you can fill the application and send it to the conference@ecosustainexpo.in or contact@confcall.com. The deadline for this application is May 22nd, 2026. Next slide. Yeah, so for important note, like whatever the decision has been taken by the review panel is final, and there is no feedback will be given for any startups which are not qualified. And final announcement will take place on June 22nd. And also the finalist will be announced during the startup pitch battle itself. Yeah, so I'll conclude this startup pitch battle presentation with few notes. Through this startup battle, we aim to discover and support ideas that will truly shape the future of sustainable industry. If you are building clean technology, this is your opportunity to be seen, heard, and supported. Thank you for your time. We look forward to your participation. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, I'll be here. For the application process and all, I'll be here. I'll be guiding you. So please reach out to me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So now we move to the much awaited panel discussion on from innovation to implementation, how clean tech startups can scale with industry, policy, and capital. So to moderate this important conversation, we have with us seasoned professional with deep experience in sustainability, clean energy transitions, and business operations. He currently serves as the head business operation at Nest Zero Services Private Limited, a sustainability company, where he works closely on driving net zero and decarbonization initiatives. Please join me in welcoming our moderator for this session, Mr. Vinod Raghavan, to the stage. Now we are going with our first panelist, as in speaker is a distributed leader in the clean technology and sustainable energy space. He is the managing director of Arca BenchTech, where he is actively driving innovative solution in clean energy and sustainable technologies. With extensive industry experience and a strong focus on implementation, he brings a valuable insights into how clean tech ventures can scale effectively. Please join me welcoming Dr. Srinivas Kasulla to the panel. We are also pleased to have with us Mr. Abhishek Bille, representing Dentix Waste Research and Waste Ventures India. He works closely in the waste management and circular economy space, contributing to the innovative and sustainable solution for resource recovery. Bringing practical industry perspectives to today's discussion, please join me welcoming Mr. Abhishek Bille to the panel. Our next analyst brings the crucial perspective of capital and investment into the clean tech ecosystems. He is the investment director at Hyderabad Angels, actively supporting and funding promising startups across sectors. With deep experience in evaluating scalable business models and growing potential, he offers valuable insights into what investors look for in clean tech ventures. So I'd like to invite Mr. Ratnakar Samadevan to the panel. Our final panelist is distributed renewable energy innovators and wastewater treatment expert. He's the managing director of Kashyap Energy Infrastructure Private Limited and a graduate of Nike Barandal with over 50 free-scale wastewater treatments and biogas products executed in India and abroad. He is specialized in high organic strength wastewater solution that not only treat waste but also generates compressed biogas. Mr. Kiran KK, Managing Director of Kashyap Energy Infrastructure, in the panel.
I think very warm welcome. Relatively, we have been having a lot of learnings, and I would say that, of course, this is whenever I'm going to start off with. I carry around 26 years of work. Last 10 years has been into the sustainability space, and I would like to start this journey by telling sustainability is a very long and a large word if we actually look at, but unless and until we practice, I heard somebody saying that at home, unless and until we start, whether it is family or whether it is your entire, whether you are working or college or study anywhere, I think the word has really evolved over the last 6-7 years. And especially I take a lot of pride. Thanks for inviting me over here, doing a part of this panel, and welcome each and every panelist over here. Very, very importantly, I think there is some kind of real passion and spirit which actually brings us, if we can do real value add to the ecosystem. And when we talk about circular economy, everything we are talking about circular, whatever you give, and the same thing comes back to you. So I think plastic, we are throwing it, and the same thing is coming back to us. So there are so many things, I think a huge learning. I could see a lot of young student, innovators, startup people over here. So welcome the entire team over here. And very, very importantly, let's make it more interesting and interactive. I had specific questions. So guys, this also is an opportunity. I'm going to be a voice of yes, where we can actually interact with the so-called specialists here. It's a fantastic mix of investors, startup, and all people over there. And especially we are talking about innovation. We're talking about clean tech. So this is one area which we are evolving as an organization. I think thanks for all of you joining here and taking out your time. And maybe you can start the discussion. I will start off with Srinivasan here relatively. Srinivasan, I just wanted to understand where this year we have spent relatively 25 long years. And basically from a clean tech per se, the area journey should have been very, very tough for you. But how is that organization has evolved? And what are the kind of synergies or issues or problems you faced, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, thank you. No, and yes, 25 years is a very, very long time. But when you see 25 years, and then I started from what started. Hello, from what started has a passion, and it went on really just maybe after spending 20 long years, I could understand that what exactly where I was failing or where I used to be wrong. So this is just a kind of passion. Everybody who invents or comes up with a startup, they intend to live with the technology before live with the technology. So then we get, so just ensure that data is there. Whatever you do, exact numbers have to be there. Didn't manipulate anything. The right kind of numbers, if they are in place, then it obviously attracts investors. So investors don't like your passion, don't like your technology or innovation, but as rightly sir has been guiding since morning, every speaker has been stressing that innovation is one thing, but implementation or execution. So execution discipline is the foremost important thing, which I personally felt that execution discipline, unless you have that discipline in your product or project or any that we have invented, then it's of no point. So have that execution discipline. Without execution discipline, it is really, really tough to attract the investors. Investors will not at all be attracted to your innovation or technology, because technology is always a key point, and I feel that technology has been evolving since whatever is there or whatever we have read in the books. We keep on inventing the same thing. It's about reinventing the wheel. But when it comes to execution, that's where people or the companies who have valued or have a very good valuation exceed. So one suggestion I would also like to give all the new entrants or startups that don't only look at the valuation point. stress on data validation because investors like validation. So don't really look at the valuations. Valuations will follow once the data validation is in place, integrity is in place, or look at the data from day one and don't, as I already mentioned, that do not or never manipulate the data, because pilot plans, demo plans is one thing, but when you see the actual plans on ground, everything changes, the dynamic changes. So very most important, the major mistake which inventors do is they think that the expansion is linear, which is never and which is not. So do me to look at the expansion phase, because expanding from if you ask me at the biogas plant, expanding from 1 ton to 100 tons, though it looks very simple or trivial, but it's not linear. It's not 100 times, it is 1,000 times in terms of your problems or complexes. So look at the problem solving issues. Once you are there, your problem is solved. Obviously, investors will come to you.
So having investors sitting next to you, that's really good. So my question would be here to Mr. Kiran there, who's been in the energy space. How do you complement yourself? If you look at, we are there next door. So resustainability as an organization, we evolved over the last 30 years. So if you look at, resustainability as an organization, they have been serving in the sustainability space for the last 30 years. And relatively, they manage India's 60 to 65% of waste, whether it is municipal waste, hazardous waste, biomedical waste, recycling, all these areas. But relatively, coming from an energy sector, you have a blend of energy which is happening. Then also from a T-Hub kind of ecosystem which is there. How is that you're able to mix in terms of the evolved organization with your experience and T-Hub supporting you? And how is that you're able to contribute and evolve? So just wanted your insights, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, it's a coincidence that it's early stage of my career, I was part of the Ranki Group, RE Sustainability, which has been renamed later, and we were working on the hazardous waste. In the Dindigul, you have this TSDF, so there the incinerator which we installed, we are part of the team, and well, actually, right from the beginning, those days of Ranki, what I could understand is that there is a lot of research happening in the education institutes, and they have to be leveraged. They have to be brought from laboratory scale to the practical scale, at full commercial scale. And that's how, while being in T-Hub, we had entered into a joint research agreement with IIT Hyderabad under the government programs called Uch and Imprint. And then we completed the research. We also have my colleagues, deputed in the IIT Hyderabad to complete their PhD programs. So if it's a win-win for the academic institute and industry, what could come together and do? And precisely we have had those experience in patenting, in the joint patent that we developed in the wastewater treatment. And as an industry, we implement full scale the research which was done at IIT Hyderabad. And at this point of time, I'm quite thankful and happy to inform you that one of the client organizations who trusted in the innovation that we did are also present here from Shri Ethanol and Power. Anil Kalgiji is here. So they trusted. So it's a question of a combination of academic institutes, industry startups like what we are doing, and also the industry at large scale. So this ecosystem has to come forward and do it. And probably this is one of the successful examples which I can always quote.
Thanks for that. I think leading it ahead, congratulations the way you have evolved, and I'm sure T-Head would have supported you in terms of taking this journey ahead. And he very important and valid question here to specifically Mr. Ratnakar, where the startups are getting involved. So there are incubators which are there. We are talking about T-Hub, we are talking about apparel incubation. So in India itself, there are so many incubations. And the startup has become more of a kind of fashion or a statement kind of thing. But relatively, how many startups actually succeed? And what is the key component where from an investment per se, what is that any organization look for, whether it is Is it the evolvement of the startup? It is the technology, or it is especially happening in the sustainability in clean tech area? How does investment, from the investment angle, the investors look at it?
Thank you. I think startup is not a fashion, but today that is the need of the hour actually, because today using IT stocks are getting down, and many of the people are struggling on the employment. And one good thing, government has put a lot of thrust for 10 years is last decade and a half. You can become an entrepreneur, try to sustain. There are a lot of opportunities in the market. It's a good opportunity. Why startups? We have seen 10 years back around 2% of the startups succeeded in crossing 5 years, sustained themselves. Today, as per the statistics, it's 20% of the startups are succeeding and sustaining. Remaining 80% is still dead. The reason for that is they feel we can make money. People are not able to. Startup is like leaving the comfort of your existing life and getting into the rough road of the organization. India has 140 crores population, only 2 lakh startups. These around 4 to 5 lakhs people are trying. It's not a big market according to us. So that's where we are not saying startup is still a fancy word. Definitely it is a need for India, need for the world. That's what we are trying to drive. Coming back on sustainable and circular economy, I think if you are all aware, academics here, somewhere in 1980s, there is a Paris Agreement signed that will reduce the carbon credit. We will see that we are sustainable in the world, but that fruits which they have to go through has not resulted in a very positive outcome. That's why we are seeing a lot of climatic changes right now. Now that inflection point and acceleration came into way, and many funds are thriving to get into their ecosystem, and a lot of policies are coming for circular economy to come back. Even today, if you look at it, is only as per Ranti Enviro, who handles Hyderabad, the entire waste. They're saying every day the tonnage is growing. Only 8% of the waste is getting recycled. Remaining 92%, they don't know what to do. So there is a larger opportunity. They're looking for people to get in. But we discussed with Recycle Abhay Deshpande, who is done well. He said somebody has to get into kachra. Getting there into the kachra and trying to find out and do recycling is asking the dareness of the startup founder is needed today, and they should believe we can deliver far better results. One good aspect is Europe and US has done extremely well. Lot of machinery, process, discipline has been perceived, but they are little expensive in management. Is it something India can do a jugaad? Is what Indian VCs, Indian government is looking today.
Thanks for that. I think a very important point, and thanks for correcting. It is not a fashion, and it is an evolved organization which is coming in. I think very importantly, we should also note that if you look at the Indian government per se, even at a state government per se, in the last 5 years, you will not believe, guys, there have been huge steps taken. Government, people say that yaar, government to kuch karta hai, nahi karta, all that. But if you actually look at, there are a lot of regulatory, compliance, rules, everything coming up. So if you look at all the brands have been penalized. So there are areas where plastic, e-waste, battery, tire, textile, wastewater, industrial, solid waste, in fact glass, paper, solar. Every area there's going to be end-of-life vehicles. So all these areas, the government has actually started mandated a lot of banks, a lot of corporates, recycling. We heard something in the earlier sessions that 30% recycling has to be done. So if a car is produced and sent in the market, unless and until you have after 15 years certificate of destruction, the car doesn't move in terms of you need to have a certificate of destruction, plus there is liabilities on the brand, plus there is liability on the individual. So government is really stitching up this gap with a lot of rules and areas coming up. My next question specific to Mr. Abhishek, the young guy sitting over here. And they have brought in a lot of transition. In fact, we started with Dr. Suvilas. He touched base on the area of data. So something on the data analytics. So if you look at a lot of startups are getting more focused on the clean tech space and more on the data per se. So Abhishek, how the transition has been, how helpful has been data for you as an organization? I actually joined Bentex 3 months ago. I run my own company. I don't want it to be the focus. But yeah, coming to Bentex, so I'll answer your question, Mr. Vinod. But I'll tell you a bit about how we started. 2017-18, when we were working with waste ventures, we observed that there's a lot of MLP waste that no one is buying. So even today, in some of the places, the companies needs to, to sell MLP, they need to put extra money. So it's not the unit economics is not viable. So that forced us to pivot it. And what we did was get MLP. MLP has a lot of data points. And if you see any chips packet or any, even if HDPE packet, so if it's a cosmetic or powder or Harpic bottle, it has a lot of data, right? So what we did was we extracted the data. We first collected only dry waste. We enforced source segregation in 3,000, 4,000 households in Hyderabad. And we ensured we only get dry waste. We ensured there is no leakage of the materials. Leakage of the materials is leakage of the data. And once we get it to the plant, we put it through the black box. This is a model that analyzes the type of materials, the brand, and the percentage of the. Basically, there are some brand parameters. I'll come to that. And then we do our analytics, and we sell this data to ITCs of the world, or big brands that are into cosmetics or food or different areas. I'll come to the point. But what it ensures is we get a steady stream of money coming in from data clients, and we pay our. This money we use it to manage the waste properly. So no other company is doing such things in the space. And coming to the thing that works is, let's say Atta brand wants to understand the space of Lucknow, the Atta space in Lucknow. They want to know last 1 year what happened in the space. They get the data from us. So these are some of the innovative things that we are coming up with. And there's also another thing that I want to touch up. So by doing this, we are ensuring there is 98% source segregation. In Western countries, they manage the waste properly because they segregate the waste properly. The citizens are responsible. The government is able to enforce the laws. Here, the enforcing of the laws or say segregation is a bit challenging, and that is one reason I greatly respect Ramki sustainability also. Despite all those, we are able to manage 65% of the waste. That's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks, Abhishek, for that. In fact, I resonate. If you actually look at as an organization, there is mandates which has come up. So Kerala government, one of the leading government which is taking up on the sanitary waste management. So there are rules which have come up on the sanitary waste has to be disposed of directly to the incinerator and not with the intermediaries and all. So people are liable to actually pay fine at homes. So specifically, in fact, the digital innovation which also came into us is we have built up an app. Today, 1 lakh houses dispose of the sanitary waste very responsibly through an app. There are mandates which are being governed by Government of India and Government of Kerala, and the sanitary waste is getting disposed of over there. We collect from 1 lakh houses that we are replicating. In fact, we have started with battery, e-waste and all with an app where people can come. In fact, organizations, my next question again here to Mr. Kiran is, how do you think the large corporates can support? So if I'm talking about, let's say, sanitary waste, we had a meeting with the largest producer of sanitary waste is Procter & Gamble. So P&G as an organization, they are looking at co-branding, they are looking at disposal units, they are looking to invest and brand across colleges, institutions, across supporting the governments and all. So how do you think the large corporates, which are already overwhelmed, can actually support this transition of the evolved startups?
Most of the audience which are present here are very well versed with the hackathons, particularly the engineering college students here, particularly in the IT field. So, though a large company, they come up with their own problem statement, which have to be addressed and solved by the participants. So, in fact, in T-Hub, we have the experience where we have sector-specific large corporate houses which have taken up a space and mentoring the startups working in those fields. So like Apollo Tires, for example. So they are there and they are providing the capital, finance and studies, etc. So how to utilize the, used tires, so on and so forth. Similarly, the cement companies, large cement companies, they also have the mandate for sustainability programs to be in place. And today, the steel industries, which is the largest, the exposure they have, are in a question mark now because unless until the steel is produced with a green energy, there are penalties for its export and all that. So that way, it is becoming very inherent for the large corporates also to encourage startups to come up with the new ideas and implement them for their own survival, in fact.
So I have a question for Dr. Srinivas here. So, Dr. Let do you think we organization being evolved over the first 3 years, what are the crucial things one should look at? So there are a lot of innovators here, the young guys in basically into the clean tech space. Is it the digital or is it the physical infrastructure or the investments leading to its Mr. Ratnakar where so if you can actually showcase and share what are the kind of the first 3 years they should focus on.
It's a very interesting question. So I can only use one word, which is credibility, credibility, and credibility. So credibility is a new, you can say, the investors which are looking for. So don't only look at the collaterals. I can say that credibility is the new collaterals which investors as well as bankers are looking for. So I just want to narrate a small story. When I started my career, so this was lucky I had attending one conference and during my post-graduation days. And I had written a note that once I complete my post-graduation, wherever whichever conferences I attended, I'll at least go and meet them. So one interesting fact was Aligni from our own college, he used a sentence in a 1 hour presentation that kachre mein paisa hai. So the moment he said kachre mein paisa hai, it attracted me. So I thought that let's earn money. So when I visited him, he said that if you are a group of 5, 6 or 10 people, just come to our office, we'll discuss. So we were 10 of them, went to his office. He said that kachre mein paisa hai, it's a white collar bandi job. He left that. He left his room. Then we started discussing. Abhi he told us that come next day. So next day we'll discuss about what we can do. So next day I really alone along with my girlfriend because she wanted to accompany me and the rest 8 of them vanished because nobody wanted to work in waste. So that was the first day which kept evilness in me that why and how I can earn money from waste. So he explained me that there is kind of waste available, NGOs and different companies. That's where when he connected me to OMDC, Maharashtra Economic Development Council, and we started working on projects. So after working for 6 months, I was very curious to understand that where does this waste go? Every eyes is staying waste, and I used to stay in Mumbai. So Mumbai is you feel it about then you compare the waste generation for Mumbai or any other cities. It's huge. It's you can fill almost the city of Hyderabad in the span of 3 to 4 years. It's that amount of waste. So kept on during those days, 25 years back, we didn't have the internet or usage of internet or books. So only we used to read about books or whatever it was available. So it was really difficult to understand that what exactly startup was, how to start, where to start. I was blank and I was completely curious. I started working with an NGO from segregation of waste. That's where I started. Slowly, within 6 months, I kept on engineering on and saw that there is a technology whereby BRC, Mr. Levina. That's where attracted me, and I started working as an operator there. When I started operating the plant, I saw that it's a huge scope because they were hardly doing anything. So doctors who were inventors in the research labs or the scientists, I can say that they are very good at innovations. They are very good at microbiology, but when it comes to engineering, there was a huge loophole. So I found that this year I can fit myself. I started working for a biogas company. I sold it at a good valuation. That I found another biogas company in small scale and medium scale plants. I sold it at a good valuation. This is my third company which I really exiting and again selling at a good valuation. So this is where I went again to look into the problem along with the solution. So the 3 most important points is spend time as rightly said by Abhishek, that data is very important. Unless you have data, you cannot show your credibility. Data itself, forget about the credibility. You have to convince your own self. Before convincing the investors, before convincing anyone, you have to be 100% assured. Your plant working has to be 100% PLF. Unless it crosses 100% PLF, you should not be satisfied. Recently, I had installed one plant. Even after, you can say it's more than 100 plants I have installed, but you can visit the plant anytime. We have assured that we have promised that the plant will generate 3000 kgs, but it is generating almost close to 3300 to 3300 kgs. So under premise and over delivery is what I feel is the most important from innovators point of view. So when you deliver more than what you have promised, automatically you will get mirrors. And luckily from past 25 years I have never marketed myself, never marketed for any projects. It's almost the matter of publicity, as well as I said that credibility that I have built in the industry, and I get projects continuously. And still presently, if you see, I have work almost tied up till 2028. So this is what data will help you do that. If you have it in place, it incredibly sure to anyone.
Thanks, Dr. Fawad. I think very valid point. Kachra is guild. And if you actually looked in terms of LinkedIn algorithms, if you look at the next 20 years, there are 3 jobs which are actually being highlighted. One is on the sustainability jobs, which are on demand. Second is AI. Third is robotics. So I think these 3 are the key focus areas for actually students and startups, and everybody has to focus. And my specific question over here to the Hyderabad Angels representative, Mr. Ratnakar here, how do you see in terms of supporting the kind of AI system which is coming in terms of the startup space? And if you had to value, these are clean tech startups, these are, let's say, IT startups, or these are, let's say, agri startups. So how do you find in terms of from an investor that say, what do you think, how clean tech energies are evolving, or clean tech fundings are coming in at a global level and also at an India level?
Coming back, how we see startups is in technology, money requirement we feel is small. Because with the $10 million or $20 million, they can create a company of $100 million to $1,000 million company. Because today we are speaking in dollars and percentage. Whereas we are seeing in clean tech, it is a high intensive working capital requirement is there. And they have to manage, because at the end of the day, it is a labor, it is a transportation, there is ultimately realizing from the government or any other thing. It is a high intensive, little bit long gestation. Definitely it is a money making machine for many people. And it is a patient capital. People have to stay at least 5 to 10 years to see real outcomes. In technology, we see every 4 years it is changing. The outcomes are much faster. That's where the investments are going much in the tech than in this hard space what you are looking at. Robotics, which you mentioned yesterday, putting a word, India is still a long way to go compared to Korea. Korea still feels number 1, and the China and US at number 2. If I look at India, is nowhere near the robotics. Still we are taking the products from there because of lack of semiconductor today. The chips is the biggest problem for India. Even a lot of people who are not aware, the remote control chip, which is managing 4 meters, is not produced in India. We are dependent on imports actually to a larger extent. They are trying hard how to make a 28-meter chip in India. If that is the state of affairs, getting robotics into the next level, it has its own scenario. But definitely there are money is there. There are people who wanted to invest money. Currently, as I said, sustainability and good number of funds are coming in this segment. And I see, because tech is changing very fast, it's not many people's pie at the end of the day. But this is a large problem growing day by day. If you go and check, the enormous amount of activity happening is much larger. How to reuse it is what a lot of people are doing, and many people are not ventured. Whoever has ventured, they made money. You ask any person who ventured in this ecosystem how they not made money, everybody made money. And as I said, Ramki Enviro, just imagine within 10 years or 12 years of their existence, they got 4,500 crores from private equity fund. That's kind of enormous money is there. If you can see there is an opportunity you want to get in, right time, right inflection point, large opportunity, and tech is also supporting, industry also supporting, society is also supporting the importance. As you see in Kerala, they said the sanitary patch has to get done. This is an amazing opportunity, right time. If some of you wanted to get into this space, please close your eyes and get in. Definitely you will succeed, and some of them will be unicorns in next 5 to 8 years. That is for sure going to happen.
I think Ratnagiri pointed it really right. And I think everybody over here, sitting over here, we should reach out. Nowadays, every state governments and central governments are looking at innovators, who are looking at technology partners, who are looking at actual people who are able to add value in the waste ecosystem. And it's a huge problem, and there are a lot of fundings available. There are a lot of support available. My question over here, to maybe the last two questions to start off with, to Abhishek, specifically as an organization. So there are areas where NGOs are there are CSR fundings which are there. So how do you see to capitalize? There are startup incubation funds which are there. So how we can capitalize and work on those areas?
I'll answer this question in 2 ways. I'll also bring in my experience and also like what our plans with Bintix also. So I'll also touch upon the aspects that the speakers have been talking about. Ramki, actually, I started my journey in 2021 when it comes to waste. I always wanted to build something that's good for the environment. I left my job and I was looking at ideas. That's when I visited Ramki's plant. That was my first, this one, even in the company. Then I talked to Roshan from Bintix. So I proposed some ideas. The third one was on AA-based waste sorting. I also visited some of the NGOs, and NGOs really have on-ground experience. Cut short, I also talked to many of the NGOs in the recent past. We have been part of different incubators. Since I don't come from this waste management industry, we always associated myself as a robotics player or like team which has experience with respect to robotics and AI. So I lacked on-ground experience. And we are part of multiple cohorts where there were NGOs and startup cohorts. They gave us access to talk to Udaipur municipality, I had Amritsar municipality, even in Kerala and Kolkata for that matter. So currently what I can see is there are many programs, and we have been part of TF sustainability cohort also. They've helped us with fundraising, they've helped us with initial pilots, and once we have touch base with these companies, they were looking at technology partners. There are companies like Ideal Foundation with whom we are going to sign an MOU, and there are companies like Plan Foundation that are present in across multiple states. We ourselves don't have access to all these states, but what we have is tried and tested technology, and these companies bring in that distribution and connect with the local governments. So I always believe it's a combination of partnership along with the startups. I mean, NGOs have ongoing experience, startups bring in the technology and the capital. So these both should work hand in hand. I'm also taking support from Rich organization, which does help us in connects. Rich is present here, the people from Rich. So it's a combination of non-profits, technology, funds, and also Rich. I'm mentioning funds because we actually recently raised funds from our pre-series A, from funds from some of the impact capital. So you can see how many people are involved. And I'll take 30 seconds. So all of these only works when there is support from the people and the government. And there are solid waste management 2026 rules. And there we can see there's a lot of focus on the monitoring. So there's a lot of focusing on monitoring and also bulk waste generators. So all these things are actually coming good and in this year.
Thanks, Abhishek, for that. I think also we as individuals, we should also understand very important parameters which we don't know. I have learned after a lot of time. At home, we need to put AC at one range, whereas it contributes to the global warming. So you should not be able to do that. So again, specifically from the government basis, they're coming with solid waste management rules. So if you look at any gated communities which are more than 100 flats, or it relatively generates more than 100 kg of wet waste, they need to install organic waste converters. These are mandates in even corporate communities which are coming in. So government is bringing rules, and implications on that is going to be at a citizen level and also at the corporate level. But I think this is the space. So every clean tech startup who is there, I think you should catch up these areas where there is a gap. So if you look at Ramki as an organization, they have been doing at a ground level in terms of kachra uthana hai, kachra yahan se wahan le jana and all that. But can a technology add value to it? How it can be transitioned? So I have questions for my four leaders here. Maybe two things if we have to take up from here. One area is maybe we'll start with Dr. Srinivas. Where does the kind of support you can give it to that startup ecosystem which is over here, which is evolving, and kind of small projects, or it could be in a fund of internship, it could be in a fund of job or anything. I will not give more ideas, but relatively, what is one thing which you can give and you can pass on the mic with the all four leaders over here?
Yeah, thank you, Sumud. And the foremost important thing which I want to, or I personally am interested is integrating AI with biomethylation, how we can bring in and how we can reduce the cost of that.
Okay, naturally, being an investor, we can do two things. One is invest into your startup, and we have investors from this segment very closely. We can do all the business connects, help you to get the required output. So today, mandate for us is somebody can do shoe recycling. They're saying a lot of shoes are lying vacant. Second is they said textile recycling. Not many startups have come. Many people are leaving there this thing. That's a second area people said you have to. Otherwise, everybody is speaking about plastic recycling, water recycling, waste recycling. But the specialist said shoe recycling, textile recycling, and one more is there, I forgot it. If these three somebody picks up, they wanted to put anywhere between 80 crores to 200 crores in this startup. They are not finding somebody suitably doing that to take it to a larger scale.
So personally, myself, I can support with navigating the Hyderabad ecosystem and also waste management space or the robotic space a bit. I'm not too experienced in this space, but on a Bintix level, definitely we could work along closely, and we can definitely introduce to the waste management players in different areas. Yeah, that's what we can do.
Well, India, as we all know, lives in rural areas, right? All our villages are the key to the progress of the country. Incidentally, yesterday myself and Ratnagalyaru, we were there in an event conducted by ICIC BAM, where we had Dr. Jay Chowdhury, who is the pioneer and who is the founder of the software technology parks of India. The cyber towers that you see here is envisaged by him, and he is today looking at rural champions. And one particular segment is the bioenergy using the maple grass, agro residues and all, which are predominantly available in the rural areas, can be harnessed to generate power. It can also generate fertilizer. It can also generate the compressed biogas, which can replace the CNG imports that the country does. So I think that is one factor. Involving farmers, rural areas would be the key for the startups to move forward. And the investors are also very keen on that, I guess.
Yeah, I think by here we would complete the session. And relatively, I would request anybody who would have questions, you can add. But one thing which I wanted to also state over here, take this opportunity and state is, as I mentioned, we are a 25,000 workforce. As Mr. Apnakar mentioned, we are at a 6,000 crore turnover. We have got 108 waste and things facilities. We are present in 14 countries. We operate 6,000 trucks in terms of managing of those waste. In fact, in biomedical waste facilities, they have installed radios who can pick and incinerate over there. So we have a student who is LAR from CBIT. So these are some initiatives which we have taken. And she has actually, maybe Deepika can stand up. And she's now part of Ramki Group, Resustainability Group, as a full-time employee. So these are kind of initiatives. We are also doing a startup incubator. We are building one of world's largest circularity park, where we are going to in-house startups CleanTech startups who are going to the station that's coming up at Shamshabad. All kinds of recycling. It's going to be a museum, incubation center, all those areas. But I think I will take this opportunity and happy to support whether it is students, whether it is new joinees, whether it is startup innovations which are there. Also connecting the startups with the investment angels who are sitting over here. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Kiran, who's been contributing on the energy space. Thanks to you, sir. Thanks, Abhishek, for your digital innovation. Thanks, Ratnagarji, for supporting this particular initiative, which is the actual root cause of the problem and our future generations. You are actually saving us. And Dr. Sreenes, with a lot of new organizations coming up, I'm sure you'll be able to do value add. So we are open for questions with the panel speakers who are here.
Hello. Yes, Mr. Ratnakar, you mentioned that, for shoe recycling, 200 crores is there, I have conducted Mr. Sampath Kumar National Solid Waste Organization, some event, IIT Madras, IIM Bangalore, like that, alumnus. What I find is that Government of India, it is giving like a one stop, like a oil contract to centralize all the waste and all, okay? And all America, all developed nation, they have distributed waste management franchises. This event, you need to conduct like a hybrid global curtain raiser event. Hybrid global curtain raiser secretariat at Hyderabad. And we can invite the franchisee model from America to come here. Okay. Government needs to make this recycling, what is the budget and all, right? And this franchisee model, it is all, everything worked out. Student graduate, like a hackathon, what do they do? How can they enter ecosystem designing? That is I'm US Global Business, Forum Globalization Consultant. I have attended the Clean Energy Conference by FTCCI. I was thinking earlier, I only know in America there is like a $3 trillion fund like that. Okay. Mr. A.G. Iyer, he has attended in Hyderabad FTCCI conference, Clean Energy. He has mentioned $1 trillion fund available in Mumbai. It has come from America to Mumbai. It has already come. Biggest gap is every college, like a private universities, they have, like a venture fund liaised kind of thing. And I have also attended IIM Ahmedabad Ventures. Okay, they also have a clean tech energy. And the government of India has given a $1 trillion mandate to IIM Ahmedabad, nodal agency. So that IIM Ventures model, all, in all Telangana, what is, like an institutional development fund of 10 crores and all, they have pledged it, like a for fee reimbursement loan and all. The fund is not available. We need to show that fund, right? When we do that, we have like a simple calculations, make the policy implement right, everything will be resolved. I will be glad. I'm a ADBA Global Leaders and Enterprises. What we need to do is the social impact thing, okay? It must happen concurrently, every town, every village, Government of India, NIRD, 10 lakhs is going to every village. Okay? But that fund is 70% again road development. SDG goal, village directive is given. But however, without the educated people going to the villages and what SDG goals, everything, how do the villagers know? So we are facing the digital transformation. We are functioning in isolation, each group and all. Budget, now there is no dearth of budget in India because every year 10 lakhs against the national debt we are taking. Why are we talking about budget constraint anymore? Why is the corporate create a startup affairs, separate thing, national startup commerce internet, create like a competitive advantage of the startup, separate entity. Why subsidy? Whatever the budget you are allocating for the subsidy, standard global solution, I will show next 2-3 years, $3 trillion coming to India and all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Carbon credit trade scheme came to India. I just want to know, like overview, what type of side businesses opportunities will create by this scheme?
Yeah. See, initially around 2 decades back, when carbon credits came, there was a lot of glorified opportunities to buy the carbon credits and make money. They recently dropped, if you see, no out of the Paris, this thing, is not even bothered about pollution and carbon credits. In the last 5 years, we have seen there is a slope, complete slope down in the money realization and the carbon. I was previously PwC, KPMG, for them the biggest selling point is carbon credits. Nowadays I am not seeing, but the opportunity may come back. Opportunity may come back. They said now it is a social objective, now more a monetary objective, what lot of government spends today. So don't get into that carbon credit insights. It's a small money now. It is not a big money today, right? Thank you.
Yeah. Dear panel, thank you so much for the lovely discussion. I'm head of innovation at VNR VJT. My name is Krishna Prasad. I'm definitely fortunate to attend this one because I'm taking good number of problem statements or some kind of inspiration to share with the students to work on. My question is especially to Kiran sir and other people can add too, because yes sir, you said like the way the industries can solve the sustainability problem is by organizing the hackathons to the students. The way I'm seeing the hackathons organized is in a very rapid fire round. They get the problem statement and within 24 hours they have to give the solution. The awards are distributed, they're left. But ideally, as sir also has mentioned, the students needs to get the depth. Whatever you read in the problem statement lines might not be sufficient enough, and can be basically put up some light so that the student actually get a good opportunity with the industry for maybe 3 months, 6 months as a point of contact to work with the back and forth discussions to getting the real data, validating their idea multiple times too, and then that evolving as a solution in the R&D area or their startup also. So anything like this is already happening, or can we make it happen?
We, for example, interact with the academic institutes at several levels, at several folds. One, of course, is the joint research which we did with IIT Hyderabad, and our continuing research with BITS Pilani also in our sector. In fact, I'm very happy to mention that we also have collaborated with the CBIT, the Civil and Structural Department, with Dr. Jagannath Raghuvaru. So, where the students were already studying, at that stage itself, they get involved in the industry problems of, in our case, it was the design of a structure. That is, having said, after that, there's internship programs which are T-Hub, announces every now and then. For a short time duration, during summers and all, the students can interact, which is going to be, say, around 3 months, so on and so forth. Hackathon is basically where a problem statement actually needs to be solved. So the format can always be revised. It's a day's program of 2 or 3 days only for IT sector in general. But in other sectors, manufacturing and all that, this hackathon, similar hackathons have to come up. So probably, we can collaborate on that and we can structure a program and we can take it forward, on that. And probably investors also would be, interested to fund such programs. Yeah.
Anyway, Suresh Babu is on the part of VNR, right? Hackathons are only to know any bright students are there. Can we fund them in the future? That's an objective actually, because we want that quick mind share what they do. That's only the reason of hackathon. Beyond that, as I said, there is a formal structure under which many incubators are working today to bring students on board, and that's why Government of India has allocated to more than 650 institutions like you to set up this kind of AIC fund, MITI fund, Nidhi Prayas fund to push the students to next level. But what I observed, because of the culture of India, I said out of 140 crores, only 2 lakhs, means around 4 to 5 lakhs students startups are coming. Most of the parents are saying get into jobs. In South especially. In North, we are seeing 20% of the students who wanted to do startups, they are getting more into the incubation. But still the amount is very, very small, what we feel. So what are the 3 things startups lack today? The first and foremost thing in the mind of the founder is, can I get money? Whether you like or dislike, it is not a problem statement, it is not a product. Can I get money? Because there is an investor, there is an angel, there is an incubator, there is a second. Nobody is interested in mentorship, but where money mentors are available in the market. The mentorship is only needed to get money again. Correct. That is business connect. Business connect also gives money, but to sustain his operations. What I found with many founders is because we're always focused towards generating money in one format or other format, they are looking at. But what we are saying is you have a goal that is a long-term goal to sustain yourself, and you're in the process of going towards goal. You will see pitfalls. Bring research teams like us to help us, bring mentors in the process. Sometimes for your startup to go to next level, you need money. The psychology has to be said, I am not doing startup for the sake of money. I am doing the startup to build something for the country, something for myself. In the process, money is needed. So you're requesting many startup founders, focus what you wanted to do for this country, focus what you can do for yourself, and how in the process money is going to help you. That's the only thing here. So hackathons are all this just to push the enlightening on the student. That's all. It's a social hurdle to push them to the next level today.
I think well said. Very important parameter. I think we should work on what we want and what the investor want, and also what as an organization we want. So we're all here to support you, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank specifically the Atal Community Center, the HITEX team. Thanks for leading it and supporting it, and the team CBIT for giving us such a wonderful arena to speak. And thanks all of you for your time, and we are happy to discuss one-on-one also. Thank you.
Thank you once again for our panelists, and requesting all to stay back for the last presentation on our upcoming exhibition Eco Sustain Expo and India Process Expo Conference, which is in the month of July 30 July to 1st of August. And for this, I'd like to invite on stage my colleague, Mr. Sudarshan Vyadala, to present this.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please hold back for a while. We'll be starting with one of the presentation and followed by lunch as well. So I'll just give you a brief introduction about what we do at HITEX Exhibition Center. So we are organizing two exhibitions called as Eco Sustain Expo, which is in its third edition, and the fifth edition of India Process Expo, which is scheduled to be held from 30th July to 1st of August 2026. To give you a brief about both the exhibition, Eco Sustain exhibition focuses on solid waste management, bioenergy, effluent treatment, air pollution control, and recycling. It provides a strong B2B platform for the companies to showcase green technologies and innovations and build a meaningful industry insights. Alongside it, we have India Process Expo, which brings together the industry leaders from the industries like chemical, pharma, petrochemical, biotechnology, and energy sectors as well. Last year we had welcomed around 12,000 visitors and had around 30 leading associations supporting our exhibition. This year we are hosting Global India Business Forum, wherein we also have a dedicated Global Asia Business Conclave along with the conference held. The key highlight is we also have a startup innovation arena and inviting all the startups to showcase their innovations and technologies. And yes, we all welcome you to our exhibition at HITEX Exhibition Center. Now I'd like to play a small video presentation of both the exhibitions that we organize, a glimpse of our past editions. Thank you.
honorable guests, distinguished speakers, and fellow innovators. As we conclude this insightful Startup Roadshow, I am honored to stand before you to express our sincere gratitude. We extend our deepest thanks to our esteemed speakers, Mr. Srikant TG, Dr. Sunny Agarwal, Colonel B.S. Rao, Mr. Sahaj R. Sandhu, and Ms. Shantala Vegas for sharing their invaluable technical expertise and leadership vision. A special thank you goes to Mr. Vinod Raghavan and a panel of experts, Dr. Srinivas Kasula, Mr. Abhishek Gurle, Mr. Ratnakar Sanavedan, and Mr. Kiran KK for their illuminating discussion on scaling CleanTech innovations. Your contributions have provided a roadmap for the future of sustainable entrepreneurship. We would also like to recognize the efforts of Mr. Balaji Dande for presenting the startup pitch battle and request all sustainable startups to take the opportunity and participate. This event would not have been possible without the joint vision and the organizational excellence of both ACIC and HITEX. We are grateful to Dr. Sunny Agarwal for supporting and hosting the event in this wonderful auditorium and for providing the perfect environment for today's exchange of ideas. Finally, on behalf of HITEX and ACIC, we express our sincere thanks to all the delegates from startup companies and innovators for your active engagement and participation. Before we conclude, we invite everyone to join us at the R&D block exhibition hall for a networking lunch to continue these vital conversations. Thank you all for making this virtue a resounding success.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.